Good afternoon to all. We are discussing the fifth unit of operating system, that is secondary storage management, and we are discussing the disk scheduling algorithm. So in the previous lecture, we have discussed about a disk scheduling algorithm. What is the necessity of disk scheduling? That already we have discussed, right? So disk scheduling is done by operating system to schedule IO request. Means if there are multiple number of processes and they want to access the secondary storage, and you know that the speed of the secondary storage, as it is a mechanical device, it is very less or it is very low as compared to the speed of the process execution. So there are the various requests came from different processes, but at the same speed the request may not be fulfilled, so that the scheduling is required. That's why scheduling is required, right? So the same case we have discussed here. May multiple IO requests arrive, but all the requests cannot be fulfilled at the same time. That's why there is a necessity to schedule all the IO requests, so that each and every process will get a chance to execute that IO request, to read or write a particular data, or to fetch that particular information from the secondary storage or from the hard disk, right? So for the disk scheduling algorithm, various important parameters that we have discussed: the seek time or the seek length. So sometime it may be called as a seek time, or it may be referred as a seek length. The total time, it is the time taken to locate the disk arm to a specified track where the data is to be read or write. Means in simple word we can define like that: seek time, say current head position is at 50. For example, the current head position is at 50 and the request is, say for example, 80. So the time taken by the disk arm to move towards the 80th location, that is nothing but 80 minus 50 is nothing but 30, right? So this is nothing but the seek time, or it is the total seek length. And you know that there is a circular fashion rotation. The disk or the plate rotates in a circular fashion, whereas the arm, the read write head arm, moves in a back and forth direction. Rotation latency is the time taken by the desired sector to rotate into a position so that it can access the read write head. So your algorithm or the scheduling algorithm must give you the minimum average seek time as well as minimum rotational latency, right? The transfer time is nothing but the how much time it takes to transfer the data, whether to read or write. And the disk access time is nothing but the total time addition of the seek time, rotational latency, and the transfer time, that already we have discussed. The very first algorithm that we have discussed is nothing but the first come first serve, the very simple to understand and easy to implement algorithm. So the requests are executed as per their arrival order. As the request arrives, as per their arrival order, the requests are being executed, or the requests are being fulfilled by the disk IO or the disk controller, right? So it does not provide the fastest service, and from the throughput point of view also, we can say that it will not guarantee the good throughput by this algorithm. First come first serve scheduling. For example, suppose you just see the requests are mentioned here. The first request made to 82, 170, 43, 140, 24, 60, and 190, and current head position is at, say for example, current head location is at 50. So and then so current head location is at 50. So then from 50 it will move to the 82, then it will move to 170, then it will move to 43, then it will move to 140 and 24, and then to 16 and 190. Then how to find out the seek time? Seek time is nothing but the from 50 to 82, that is nothing but the 32 is nothing but the seek time or the seek length. Seek time or the seek length. Then from 82 to 170 means 170 minus 82 is nothing but the seek length. So in this way, we are calculating the seek length or the seek time between two requests. And finally we are adding all this seek length, and we are getting the total seek length, and divide this total seek length by the total number of requests. We will get here average seek time or the average seek length, right? So see here how the algorithm works. So from 50 it will move to 82, then it will move to 170, then it will move to 43. So this is nothing but your disk arm. This is the movement of your disk arm, how the rotation of the disk arm takes place here, right? And so total seek time is calculated by the subtraction between the two requests, right? And finally, we are getting the average seek time. This is for your FCFS, first come first serve algorithm. The next algorithm is nothing but your SSTF, that is shortest seek time. Just like SJF, we discussed that the request which is nearer to the current head position, the request which is nearer to the current head position, that is immediately served. That request is served immediately. For example, so in SSTF shortest seek time, so requests having the shortest seek time are executed first. So the seek time of every request is calculated in advance, and then they are scheduled according to their calculated seek time. So the request having which require the shortest seek time, that will executed first. The simple logic. Again, considering the same exam, and definitely it will it is better. This SSTF will give you the better result as compared to your FCFS, and it is the, one can say, it is the throughput by this algorithm is good as compared to other algorithms, right? Consider the same example again. The requests are again 80, then 170, 80, then 170, 43, 140, 24, 60, and 119. Current head position is at 50. So from 50 location, so current head is at which location? At location 50. So for example, here is the 50. So 50, which number, which request is now nearer to 50? So 82 is the difference is 32, and 43 is the difference is 7. So we can conclude that, or we can easily say that 43 is very near to 50. So head must go to 43, because we are following the strategy shortest seek time first. The seek time or the request which require the shortest seek time, that is executed first, or that is fulfilled first, right? So in this way, and now at 43. So now the current head location is at 43. Again, from 43, which request is nearer or which request is closer? So for 43, I think 24 is closer to 43. Immediately the head will move to the 24 location, or the 24 the request, or it will fulfill the request 24, right? So this way this algorithm works. So see the graph: 50, 43, 24, 16, then 16 to 82, from 82 to 140, from 140 to 170 and 190, and it will stop. So total seek time is nothing but the subtraction from 50 to 42. Subtraction is 7. 43 minus 24, the subtraction, and the 40, then 24 minus 16, then 60, yeah, 82 minus 16. So this way, the total seek time we have calculated, that is nothing but 208, and average seek time is nothing but your total number divided by total number of requests. So how many total number of requests are there? Total number of requests are 7. So that's why we are dividing it by 7, right? So next algorithm we have discussed is nothing but the scan scheduling algorithm. So scan, already we have discussed that this is nothing but your, it is very similar to your elevator algorithm, or it is also called as the elevator algorithm. Meaning is that just like an elevator, when elevator is moving in the upward direction, so it will carry all the passengers who are moving to the up direction, and while it is moving to the downward direction, it carry all the passengers traveling toward the downward direction. So the same way, the disk arm is moving to one end, so always, and it is the thumb rule that it will start with the higher number, means it will move towards the higher number. So if it is at, say for example, 100 location, it will not go to 90, 80 or in this way, but it will move toward the 110, 120, 130 in this way, right? So it will move toward the higher location first and reach to the end of the disk. Say for example, end of the disk is 200 or 199, then whatever may be the request coming across the path while moving from 100 to 200, that particular location, so the request will be fulfilled, then the direction will get reversed, and it will try to move toward the another end, that is called as the 0. That is another is nothing but at 0, and the request which are now remaining, the remaining requests are now executed in this particular its reverse path, in the reverse path, and in this way all the requests are fulfilled. That is called as the scan algorithm, means scan the total page in one direction and then scan it in another direction, but while scanning it will reach to the both the ends. It will reach to the 0 as well as it will reach to the 200, that 200 location, or what it may be the last location, right? So the same example we have discussed, 82, 170, and see how the graph is being drawn here. So 50, it will move to 82, then it goes to 140, then it goes to 170, then go to 190. So 199 is not there in the list, but still it go to 199, because 199 is the end of that particular disk, or it is the last location. And from 199, it reverses direction and goes to the opposite direction in the reverse path. And whatever may be the request, they come across that particular reverse path, the requests are fulfilled. The requests are fulfilled. That is nothing but 43, 24, and 16. So you can calculate the average seek time. Total seek time is calculated in this way, and the average seek time is divided by. So you can have the average seek time calculation by dividing total number of requests, right? Now, this is all about the scan algorithm. Now, the next algorithm that we have to discuss is nothing but your circular scan or the C-scan algorithm. Circular scan algorithm is very similar to your scan algorithm. It is similar to your scan algorithm, but only the difference is that the disk arm again scans the path that has been scanned after reversing its direction, right? So it may be possible that too many requests are waiting at the other end, or there may be zero or few requests pending at the scan area. So these situations are avoided in C-scan algorithm. So what exactly happening in C-scan, that we'll see, in which the disk arm, instead of reversing its direction, goes to the other end. It will go to the other end of the disk and starts servicing the request from there. So the disk arm moves in a circular fashion, and this algorithm similar to scan algorithm, and hence it is called as the C-scan algorithm. So what is the difference between the scan and the C-scan algorithm, that we'll see. So in case of scanning, so assume this is nothing but your two end of your disk, 0 to 199. These are the start, and this is the end of the disk. Now, in case of scanning, it will start from this particular end, it will go to that particular last end, or to the last point. Then from the last point, it reverse the direction, and it will go to the first point by servicing all the requests. So whatever may be the request came across the path, that will be serviced. And then in the reverse path also, suppose remaining requests are there. So remaining requests are serviced in the reverse journey of that particular head. So for simplicity, we assume that this scan algorithm work like this. This one is the direction, then it will go to this direction, then it will go to particular this direction and this direction. So I can draw in a simple manner scanning, just like your paper scanner, just like your Xerox machine scans, or any so you are scanning a document on a flatbed scanner. So it will scan till both the ends of that particular scanner, right? But in case of circular scan algorithm, what happens? So when you are moving, so in this case, instead of reversing its direction, goes to the other end of the disk and starts servicing the request from there. So here, see here again, these are the two end points. That is nothing but the start point and the end point, 199. Okay, 199. So in case of circular scan, see carefully, the head starts from this particular position and goes to the end position up to 199, and whatever may be the request they are there in the path, they will be served here, right? But when it reaches to this particular end point, then it will directly move to the first point. Then it will move to the first point, but in this reverse journey, it will not going to scan any of your requests. This is the major difference. While so just reverse the path and then again start scanning and servicing the request in this particular right direction. Getting this point? And when it reaches to the end, then it will immediately move to the first point, or it will immediately move to 0. But while in its reverse journey, or while moving through its reverse path, it will not going to scan, it will not going to one can say fulfill the request, or it will not going to execute any of the request. It will execute the request only in the forward path only. So in simplicity, in comparison, I can draw the graph like this. So this is the graph, this is the only graph. Circular scan means this is the only scanning happen, or scanning performed by the C-scan algorithm. Okay, no doubt it will go to the reach, it will reach to the end point, but when it will move in the reverse direction, it will not going to fulfill, or it will not going to execute any of the request. Getting this point? So that is the basic difference between the scan and C-scan algorithm. So we'll see the example. Suppose the order of request is 82, 170, 43, 140, 24, 16 and 190, and initial head position is at 50. So it is given that disk arm shall always move toward the higher value. Always remember that disk arm always move toward the higher value. It will not, suppose it is at 50, so from 50 it will start to the higher value and not to the lower value. So the circular manner. So see, this is the difference. Are you getting this point? So see once again. So this is the case. It will start from 50 and it will move towards the another end, that is 199 end of that particular disk. So whatever may be the request, it will move toward this particular end, and whatever may be the request, that is 82, then 142, then 170 and 190. These are the requests. They came across this particular path. All the requests are satisfied or all the requests are executed. Then immediately after while reversing the direction, it will not execute any of the requests, just it will reach to that particular direction. So that's why it is called as the circular scan. And when it reaches to the zero, or when it reaches to the initial point, then again start scanning in this particular direction. And now there is a request, that is 16, 24 and 43. It will be executed. Getting this point? So this is the way. So this scans in only this particular. So I can draw, for simplicity, C scan will scan your request in this particular fashion only. But while reversing the direction, while reversing this particular way, there is no any request scanning in the reverse path in case of circular scan. So that is the main difference between the C scan and the scan algorithm. Remember this point. Huh? So finding out the total seek time. So total seek time is calculated as, so again in the same case 199 by 50. So you can, for simplicity, I have written here 199 by 50. So this is the total seek distance. That is nothing but total seek distance. This is the first arm movement. Now second, from 199 it moved to the 0. So this is nothing but the distance travel by that particular disk head. And from 43 to 0. So or 0 to 43. So from this to 43. So this is the third case. This is the third difference. That is nothing but the 43. So this is your 43 distance. This is the 199 total distance. And this is 50 minus, or 199 minus 50, means it is 149. So total is nothing but your 149 plus 199 plus 43. The total comes out to be 391. And the average seek time is equal to the total number of, one can say here, average seek time is nothing but the divided by total number of requests, right? So this is the way, or this is the case in case of your C scan scheduling algorithm. Getting this point? Okay, now we'll move to the next algorithm, that is nothing but the look scheduling, LOOK, look scheduling algorithm. So it is similar to the scan disk scheduling algorithm, except for the difference that the disk arm, instead of going to the end of the disk, goes to only to the last request to be serviced in front of the head, and then reverses its direction from there only. Thus, it prevents the extra delay which occurred due to unnecessary traversal to the end of the disk, right? So very simple meaning is that one can say that in case of scan algorithm, what we are doing, so in case of scan algorithm, the head is moving from 0 to 199 and again reversing its direction from 199 to 0. This is the scan algorithm. But in this case, what is happening here, suppose my last request is 184, right? So my last request is 184 is the last request. Then why unnecessarily travel this 184 to 199, right? Then why to travel unnecessarily from last request 184 to 199? That is nothing but the end of the disk. So why not to reverse the direction from the last request itself? This is the first point. And the second point, if the start point is at 16, then why to unnecessarily go to 0? Means you are saving your 16 here, means unnecessarily you are increasing your seek length by traveling from 16 to 0, because it is actual traveling by that disk arm. This is actual traveling because it is a mechanical, it is an actual device. Hard disk is the actual device where the disk arm has to actually move from one location to the another location, right? So that's why the traveling is very much important. You have to minimize the disk arm travel on that particular hard disk, right? So instead of going to 184 to 199, means Why you are going honestly increasing the 15 positions on here, 16 locations? So instead of that, you just stop here at the start where it is the last request in this end, and where it is the last request on that particular end in the another end. So look algorithm is nothing but similar to your scan, but in case of scan, we are reaching to the extreme ends of both the ends, whether it is zero start as well as the end. But in case of look algorithm, we are reaching to the request, which is the last request on the direction, on the right direction as well as on the left direction. Whether it is the last, then we are not going to move towards the extreme end, whether it is a 199 or 0. So this is the only difference. That's why what we are achieving here, what is the achievement? So we are achieving the distance. We are not going to travel extra distance, and we are minimizing the seek length. We are minimizing the seek length and thereby minimizing the seek time of that particular disk arm here. So, and the important point is that the disk arm always move towards the higher values, right? So example, same example, I'll see how the algorithm works here. So from 50 to 82 to 140, then it will 170 and it will go to 190, but it will never go to 199, right? So this distance is saved here, and it will reverse the direction, and the request is 43, then 24 and 16, but it will not go to the 0. It will not move towards 0. So this much distance, this much amount of distance is now being saved here. This much distance is not being traveled by that particular disk arm. It is being saved, right? So this is the actual difference. In case of scan, what happened? If it is a scan algorithm, so we are scanning. Scan means from this end to up to last end, and from here to up to zero, right? So this is nothing but the actually scanning, but it is the we can say that it is the modified version of the scan algorithm, or it is actual practical implementation of the scan algorithm, because scan algorithm is not practically possible, or it is not practically implemented. So practically we can say that the practical algorithm is your look algorithm, where we can see that yes, we have to go to the end of the request. So here after there is no request, so there is no need to go to the end 199. That just reverse the direction and go start start going in the reverse direction, and the request which are in that particular way, you have to fulfill that particular request. So we are actually saving the seek length as well as the seek time here. So calculation is the same. We are calculating the total seek time, and we are calculating the average seek time for this. Getting this point? Okay. So similar to scan, but not reaching to the end. This means look and scan algorithm are similar. The difference is that they are not going to. In case of look, it is not going to reach to the extreme endpoints. The next algorithm is nothing but your CLOOK algorithm. Now this CLOOK algorithm is similar to C-scan algorithm, right? CLOOK algorithm is very similar to C-scan algorithm. What happened in case of C-scan algorithm? We are moving again here. We are moving to the extreme end from 0 to 199 and immediately reverse the direction. But in the reverse path, it will not going to fulfill the request, or it will not going to execute any request. Again, it starts from 0, and whatever the remaining requests are there, it will fulfill that request from starting from 0. In this case also, it will not reach to the extreme end. It will reach to the last request on either of the sides, right? Whether it is in right hand side last request, or whether it is a left hand side last request is there, it will reach to that request only. It will not proceed further, or it will not move further. That's why it will reduce the total seek length or the total seek time here, right? This is the only difference. So look is similar to scan algorithm. In similar way, CLOOK is similar to C-scan disk scheduling algorithm. In CLOOK, the disk arm, in spite of going to end, goes only to the last request to be serviced in front of the head, and then from there goes to the other end's last request. Thus, it also prevents the extra delay which occurred due to unnecessary traversal to the end of the disk. The same way, suppose the request address are 82.170, 43, 140, 24, 16, 190, and the redirect head position is at 50. Then see this algorithm, see this, how it works. Just see once again. Okay, so this is the actually working of the C-look algorithm. Means yes, we have to go in this direction. So from 50 start moving head moving in this direction, but it will not reach to 199. Instead of that, it will stop here. This is the last request is 190. So this is the saved distance. So 190 to 199, the 9 distance is being saved here, and immediately reverse the direction. But as your C scan algorithm says that while in the reverse path, while moving in the reverse direction, there is a no, it will not going to execute any of the requests. It will not going to execute any of the requests. It will move towards the end, but instead of moving toward the zero, it will not move toward the zero, but which is the first request? 16 is the first request, so it will reach to the 16, and from 16 it will start moving toward this direction only. Right, the same way means the same logic, this is the way. So circular scan or the circular C loop is the same way, but circular scan reach to the extreme ends, but here it will not reach to the extreme ends, but it will reach to the only the request that are the end request on both the sides, start side as well as the end side. That is the difference. Okay, and here, therefore we are calculating the seek time, the total seek time in this way, that is 190 minus 50, 190. So how it comes 190 minus 50? So from 50 to 190, not to 199. So this is the this is the distance travel, that is nothing but your 140. Then 190 to 60, because it has to reverse its direction from 190 to 16. So this is the disk arm movement from 190 to 60. This is the distance, and from 60 to 43, 43 minus 16, so total distance is 41, and the average seek length or the average seek time is divided by 7. Total time divided by 7, right? So this is the way how the C look algorithm, disturbing algorithm works here, right? So in this particular topic, we have discussed about 6 disk scheduling algorithm. That is nothing but first is your FCFS algorithm. Second one is your SSTF algorithm, shortest seek time first. Third one is your scan algorithm, then C scan algorithm, then your look algorithm, and C look algorithm. Now we are going to see some examples on this algorithm, right? Numericals on this algorithm. And as earlier I have told you that there are numericals, and these numericals carry the maximum weightage in your theory paper, whether it is in SEM as well as in end SEM paper. There are numericals on CPU scheduling, then your page replacement, then there is a bankers, and finally the numericals based on your disk scheduling algorithm. So the one numerical we are going to see here. Examples on disk scheduling algorithm. So read it carefully. Okay, so for the given sequence, of disk request, determine the total distance travel of disk head in satisfying the entire request for FCFS algorithm, SSTF algorithm, scan algorithm, C scan algorithm, look and C look algorithms, right? Initial head position is at 100. Initial head position at 100, and the total number of cylinders in a disk are 200. So see, this number is given 200. Number means total number of cylinders means the x-axis must contain your 0 to 199, right? 0 to 199. Why this number is important? So initial head position is, say for example, here is 100, and the total cylinders are 200. So if there is a 600, then your last point is 599. Remember this point. If this number is to 600 cylinders are there, then your last this you have to take the last point on the x-axis 599, and all the requests you have to plot on this particular x-axis. Say for example, I plot here 55, then the 58 is near to 55. This is 58. Then 39 is closer to, say for example, 0. Then 38 is there. Again 38 is there. Then 18. So you have to plot 18. So in this way, here it is not up to the scale, but in the figure I have drawn, it is very clear. Then 160 is here. Say for example 160, right? 150 request is here. So in this way, very first, how to solve this example? The first step, draw x-axis, first point, and see how many cylinders are there. How many cylinders given in the numerical or in the example. So 200 is given. So your last point is 0 to 199. If it is a 600, your last point is 0 to 599, for example. Next, now plot all the requests from starting from the 55, 58, 39. So plot all the requests approximately on this x-axis. X-axis, plot all the requests. For example, 18 is here. Then there is a 55. Sorry, then there is a 39. Then there is a 55. Then there is a 58 in this, yeah, 58. Then it comes out to be 90, right? Then comes out to be, say, for example, 150, then 160 in this way. And current head position is at 100. So also draw the location for current head position. And you say that this is the current head position. So this is the first task, or this is the first step while solving such type of numerical. Draw x-axis, draw total number of requests, plot all the requests on that particular x-axis, the first point. And the algorithms given here are FCFS 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. All 6 algorithms, disk scheduling algorithms are given. And what we have to find out here? We have to find out the total distance travel by the disk head and the average, means total seek time or total seek length and the average seek length, right? So how many requests are there? How many requests are there? We can say that. So here are request number 1, request number 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. So total number of requests are 9 requests are given here, right? So solve one by one. So first take the algorithm FCFS. FCFS scheduling. So see here. So I have draw one table here. So in the earlier example, I used to just write down the difference, but here for the simplicity, for your understanding purpose, the table is being drawn here. So the table contains the next track access, and this is the first column, and the second column is number of track towers. Directly subtraction load right here. So initial start, so start position is at 100. Start position as 100, and FCFS. What FCFS tells that? FCFS tells that serve the request or service the request as per their arrival order. So arrival order is 55, 58, 39, 18, 90, 160, 150, 38, and 184. This is their arrival order. So the head current position is at 100. Then from 100 it will move to 55 location. So how many tracks it travels? So 100 minus 55, subtraction is written here. Right? Then from this 55, the head will move to 58. What is the subtraction? 55 minus 58, that is nothing but 3. 55 minus 58 or 58 minus 55, that is comes out to be 3. Then from 58 it will move to 39 location. The subtraction 58 minus 39 is 19. From 39 location it will move to 18. The subtraction is 21. From 18 it will move to 90. Subtraction is, say, for example, 72. From 90 the head will move to 170, 160. The subtraction is written here. So number of track travels, meaning is nothing but you have to write down the difference between the two requests. Difference between the two requests, or it is nothing but a subtraction between the two requests. You have to write down. So whether suppose 18 minus 90 or 90 minus 80, you can have the mod of that particular subtraction, right? Then 160 minus 150. Then we can have 150 minus 38 and 38 minus 184. So total. So add all these numbers. So here it's the same. There is no difference. But in the previous examples, the just horizontal I have put there. But here the correct table I have, so proper table I have marked here, right? So 45 plus 3. So it will be better understand for the students. 45, 3, 19, 21, 72, 70, 10, 112 and 446. And total is 498. So this is nothing but your total seek length or the total seek time of the disk travel, of the disk arm travel through FCFS scheduling when we follow the FCFS scheduling, right? And the average is nothing but you have to divide how many requests are there. 9 requests are there. So average seek length or average seek time is 498 divided by 9, right? So then draw the actual diagram or then draw actual graph. See this way. Okay, just once again, see this once again. Okay, so from 100 is the current location. The same, the whatever may be the numbers or whatever may be the values return in this particular table, you will find the same values here. 100 is the start point. 100 is the start point. From 100 it will move to the 55. So here is the 55. All right, this is the 50 and 55 is somewhat here. So it will move to 55, from 55 to 58, then from 58 to 39, from 39 to 18, 18 to 19, 18 to 90, then 90 to 160 here. So this is the 160, this is 160, then 160, this is 150. So definitely it is 150 here. And from 150 it will move to 38. So 38 is near, it is closer to, say for example, 40. So it is 38 number, and from 38 to 184. So 180 is here. This is 190. So 184 is some way here. Right. So this is the way. Right. And the total we have calculated here. So average seek length or the average seek time is nothing but your 498 divided by 9. 498 divided by 9, that is comes out to be 55.33. So in examination, you have to solve the numerical in this fashion only. So you have to write down the table first, the algorithm policy. Which is the algorithm policy? It is FCFS. If it is a SSTF, if it is a SSTF, then we have to find out the shortest seek time. In case of next algorithm, we have to find out the shortest seek time. But if it is FCFS, then just arrival order, as per their arrival order, all the requests are considered here, right? And then you have to draw the graph and also properly mount all the figures. There must be some scaling, say for example 0, 20, 40, 60, 80, 100, 120, 140, 160, 180 and 200. So proper scaling is there, so that when you draw this, if the numbers this will looks in a better way, right? And finally the total average seek length by dividing the total number of requests. This is the FCFS scheduling algorithm. Now the next one is, second is shortest seek time first, SSTF. The same way, the table is there. I have drawn the table. So initial start position is at 100. Now among all the requests given, which has got the shortest distance with 100 current location. So 90 definitely has got 100. 90 has got the shortest because 58 is longer, 39 is longer, 55 is longer, 18 is also too much far from that 100. So the only difference 100 minus 90, the difference is 10. So we can say that it is the shortest one. We can say that it is the shortest one. Then current head location is a 90. So which is the next request which is nearer to the 90 number? So this number comes out to be 58. So difference is 32 here. Then from 58 it will move to the 55. The shortest is, of course, it is a 3. Difference is 3. Then from 55, which is the number which closer to 55, 39 is the closer, and the difference is 16. So of course 38 is closer to 39. So difference is 1 only. So here I have written the subtraction between these two requests, right? In this fashion. So 38 minus 18, the next request is 20 is the difference. Then now 18, it has moved to the, so 18 is the last point on the left hand side. So it has to go toward the right hand side, and in the right hand side it will find 150 is the first request, but the difference is 132, means 150 minus 18. The difference is to be 132. Then it will move toward, then 150 to 160, the 10, and from 160 to 184, that is nothing but 24. And the total number of track traverse or total seek length is nothing but 248, and the average seek length or the average seek time is 248 divided by 9. So as compared to your FCFS, this algorithm gives you the better result or the minimum amount of average seek time. See here. Yes, from 100, which is the which number is nearer to 100? The 90. 90, which number is near? It is a 58. Then 55 is the near, means the shortest. So see, all the arrows here, all the arrows are shortest. All arrows are shortest. In case of previous example, we can find the variable arrow length. Variable arrow length means what? Some arrow may be of the short span, but some arrow having the large distance. But here is the only one arrow. Why? Because you have to reverse the direction, because there is no request in this particular direction. It has to go to opposite direction. That's why this arrow is much, this distance is much more. But from here 150 to 160 is very near, and from 160 to 184 again 24 is the only distance, right? So this is the way. So if you want to see it once again, see this, the movement of disk arm. Okay, and we'll find out the average seek length is equal to 27.555 That is nothing but the result of 248 divided by 9 by shortest seek time first algorithm, right? The next is nothing but your scan scheduling. Scan scheduling, as everybody knows that in scan scheduling, the disk arm moves starting from the one location, it will reach to the another end, and from that particular end, it will reverse its direction and try to go toward the other end of that particular disk, and it will service all the requests which are coming across that particular reverse path, right? So, and one logic is that it has to the number, it will always move toward the higher order or the higher number. From 100 it will not move to 90, but from 100 it will move to 150, means in that particular left hand right hand side direction. So right, so 100 to 150, the distance is 50. From 150 to 160 it will go to, that is distance is 10. From 160 to 184, the distance is 24. And now see here, it will move from 184 to 199. That is nothing but it is not included in the request, but it is the last end of the disk. That's why it has to go to the last point, and the total distance travel, that is 199 minus 184, is the 15. Now it will reverse the direction and starts its reverse journey, and the first request came across the reverse journey is 90, first request, so it will serve the request. So 199 minus 90 is equal to 109. Then from 90 to 58, then from to 55, then 39, then move toward the 38, then 18, right? Now from 18 it will not stop at 18. Why? Because it is a scan algorithm and it is not the look algorithm. It will move toward the 0, it will move toward the end of that particular disk, that is nothing but the 0, right? So distance is 18 minus 0, that is equal to 18 here, written is here. And the total, so see how many entries are there. So this is 1 2 3 4 5 6 7 8 9 10 11. There are total number of entries are 11, right? So 298. So this 298 is to be divided by total number of, there are initially how many entries are there initially, how many requests are there initially? Only 9 requests, but here 2 requests are more. To which 2 requests are more? 199 is the one additional request and 0 is one additional request. That's why 298 must be divided by 11, because now requests are 11 to find out the average, So see here, scan scheduling 100 to 150 to 160 to 184, 199, 90, 58, 55, 39, 38, 18 and up to 0. Getting this point? And average seek length is equal to 298 divided by 11. So always remember that for the two algorithms, for scan and for C-scan algorithm, we have to take 2 extra requests, that is nothing but your start point and the end point, 0 and 199, because the head move toward the extreme ends in both the cases. That's why, so though there are 9 requests given in the example, but here instead of 9 we have divided by 11, because here the 2 more requests are being added here. Getting this point? So see this once again, how it traverse. This is actually the movement of the disk arm, right? And the total seek time, average seek time is calculated by dividing the 11, right? The next is nothing but your circular scan scheduling in case of C-scan algorithm. Again, from it starts from 150, move to 160, 184, 199, this to the then from 199. See here, now from 150, 100 to 150, then to 160, then to 184, then to 199. This is the end of the disk. This is the end, means it reached to the end of the disk. Now immediately from 199, the head will be pick up here, and it will again move, and it will place at 0th location. And from 0 it will start again, move in the right hand side direction, 0 to 18, then 38, then to 39, then to 55, then to 58, and then to 90. And here is the subtraction, means 100 to 50, that is the 50, then 160 minus 50 is the 10, then 184 minus 60, 160 is 24, and 199 minus 184 is the 15. So total is nothing but 388. And again we have to divide it by 11, because 2 numbers are more added, that is 199 and 0. So if we see the graph, so see the graph. The disk arm movement, see the disk arm movement in C-scan or the circular scan algorithm, right? So from 100 move to 150, 160, 184. Though the 184 is the last request, 184 is the last request, but it is a C-scan. It is not a C-look algorithm. It is a C-scan. It will go to 199, and immediately from 199 it will reverse its direction. Immediately reverse its direction, but in reverse path. In case of circular scan, during its reverse path, it will not going to execute any request, or it will not going to one can say that it will not going to allow any request. The requests are serviced only in the forward direction, only in this particular right hand side direction. That's why it is called as the circular scan at this point. So then from zero it zero it start moving this direction. So this is the first request 18, then 38, 39, 55, 58, and finally the 90. So on this reverse in this path again, while in the second iteration it has service up to 90, and it will not go to 100 because 100 is already serviced or 100 is already executed. And so see here, total average seek length is nothing but your 388 divided by 11. Two entries or more. So always remember that in case of your C-scan and scan algorithm, there are two more entries. We have to divide by the two more entries, means 9 plus 2 is equal to 11. So average seek length is 35.27. Next is nothing but your fifth algorithm is look algorithm, the very similar to your scan algorithm, but only the thing is that we are not going to reach to the end. We are not going to reach to 199 or 0. Whatever may be the request at the extreme end, that request we are going to stop at the extreme request only, right? So scan is not practically possible. It is similar to scan. This look algorithm is similar to scan, but here does not reach to the end. Here go to the final request only in either of the direction. So again 100 to 150 to 160 to 184. Okay, so 184 is the last request. It will not reach to 199, but immediately after 184 it will reverse its direction and start travel in the reverse direction. And the request in the reverse direction, first request is 90, 58, 55, 39, 38, and 18, and it will not reach to the 0 because it is not the scan. It is nothing but your look algorithm. That's why. So how many entries are there? How many requests are there? Now here are only 9. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, and 9. 9 are the only requests. So that's why the 265 divided by 9, we are calculating the average seek length, right? See here. Okay. So this is the way from 100 to 150 to 160 and 184. No need to go to 200 or 199 location. Immediately reverse the direction, and during its reverse travel also fulfill or the execute the request or service the request and reach to the 18 last request. Which is the last request in this direction? 18 is the last request in this direction. No need to go to the 0. It will not move toward the 0, and that's why the average we can say average seek length is equal to 29.44. That is equal to 265 divided by 9 and not the 11. But in case of scan, move to 0 and 199 and divide by 11. But here we are only dividing by 9 only, right? C next algorithm is your C look scheduling. So C scan is not practically possible again here. So C look algorithm is similar to C scan, but here does not reach to the end position, just like your look algorithm. Here go to the final request only. So again here from 150, from 100 to 150 to 160 to 184. So 184, then it will reverse its direction. The head come to the first request on the other hand. The first request on the other side, which is the first request. It is not 0, but instead of 0, it is the 18. So it will go to the 18 and again start servicing the request 18, 38, 39, 55, 58, and 90. Not reach to 0 or not reach to 199. So total number of requests are 9 only. So 322 divided by 9, whatever may be the numbers, is nothing but your average seek length or average seek time. So see here. Okay, so 100 to 150, 160, 184, it will not reach to the 200 or 199, and immediately here it will reverse its direction. But while reversing the direction, it is not going to execute any request because it is a circular in fashion. It is a circular in fashion. That's why in reverse journey it is not going to service any request. And so instead of reaching to 0, it reached to only extreme request, that is 18, and again start moving in this direction. And the requests which are coming across this particular path, that are going to be service or that are going to be executed in case of your C look scheduling algorithm. That's why what you are saving here, you are unnecessarily, you are not going to it into 0 and here from 184 to 199. So that much amount of traveling of the disk arc is being saved here, right? So total seek length is 332 and average seek length is 332 divided by 9, that is 35.77. so this is the way how the numericals are being solved. So in the exam you have to draw the table first, you have to apply the logic as per the algorithm, and then you have to draw this graph x-axis and start drawing the request from 100 to 150, then 160, then 184. This fashion you draw the graph, and then you have to finally find out the average seek length. All right. Okay. So I think we have to stop here for the today. Okay.